We are diving into awakening yourself through love, joy, and transcendence. Man. So let's first start off with a story, with a piece of my life. We are on a constantly unfolding journey. And that journey is one of getting clarity, creating clarity, seeking clarity, striving to be our greatest possible self. And along my journey, I've had a lot of challenges in lacking clarity, moments when I was lacking clarity. I still lack clarity on a lot of stuff and how I'm going to do it and execute and how it's all going to work out. And I get to trust the universe. So one of the ways that I've really been learning to trust myself and trust the universe over the last couple years, especially because before that it was like all me. I'm on my own, survival, everyone out for themselves, every man for themselves, and like if someone gets cut from the team, too bad, so sad, bye. Like ruthless. It was just I was selfish, very selfish, entitled, and along the journey, I'm like, who the heck am I and what do I want to do? And so one of my good friends, his name's Tim Long, and I met him through an organization called Landmark. Amazing guy. He sat down with me one day, and we were like figuring out what is it that I do? How do I deliver my gifts to the world? And what is the specific languaging that I use to deliver that, to be my greatest possible self? Who is the essence of Chris Burns? And so we came up with this concept, this direction called being the soul coach, because I awaken people's souls. I really have them come to life. I ignite them into their greatest possible selves. And I can be the soul coach because I tap into people's souls. I help people tap into their souls to be present, to be alive. So first off, I'd love to hear your opinion on the soul coach concept and direction, because it still could be a possibility. I think that I do tap into people's souls, and I'm very soulful. I'm very present, loving, and connected. So would love to hear your feedback on that first off. Second off, it was what comes with the soul, being a soul coach. What does that mean? And so I created this statement that I took with me everywhere I go, and lived by it for a long time. Life evolves as you go through it, to live by different mantras, to live by different paradigms, to live by a guiding rudder that has you show up in different ways. Here's two examples, and then I'll share what that example was. First example is I started this year off by saying this is the year of nurturing. 2018 is a year of nurturing myself, nurturing my relationships, nurturing my dreams, my gifts, my goals, my aspirations, my community, nurturing my impeccability, my room, nurturing my writing to be more effective, nurturing my health, nurturing things. And that's my theme for the year. So that's my guiding rudder. That's what I live by. The second one is the philosophy of this year, of the Napoleon Hill statement of what's the specific chief aim, what I'm willing to give, and what I'm willing to give to achieve that, how I will render that service. So for that, it's January 1st, 2019, and I have earned, hold on. It's all about the vibration, right? It's all about the vibration. So whenever you're saying a declaration or an affirmation, get yourself in a state. Otherwise, it's just words. Rebecca said, words are not powerful. It's the energy behind the words that we're saying. So I value this. This is important to me. This goal, this chief aim is my life. It's what I'm giving my life to for the next year. So every time I say it, I speak it, how I share it, who I'm being, is that this thing is freaking sacred. It is sacred. It is divine. It is my mission, my essence. So whenever you say your affirmations and your goals and your dreams and the things that you're accomplishing, think twice about the energy, about the state that you're in when you're saying these things, okay? So for me, what works to get into state is to breathe in love, breathe in relaxation, breathe in empowerment, breathe in expansion. You can imagine like your energy sphere, if you have an energy around, sphere of energy around your body, like expanding to however freaking big you want, right? The whole world, the whole universe, for all I care. Or the whole block, the whole house, I don't care, whatever you want, whole building. And because I align myself with this energy and then say this, it has exponentially more effect than if I were to just say, it is now January 1st, 2019. Does that make sense? Good. It does. It is now January 1st, 2019. I have earned $500,000 because I'm willing to do whatever it takes, putting integrity first, nurturing my relationships, nurturing myself, serving others at a massive level, transforming lives, doing what I love, being love, sharing my best and highest gifts with the world and the people closest to me, igniting possibility everywhere I go, giving relentlessly, organizing and building massive communities for worthy causes. I have full faith that I am now achieving this. I see it with my own eyes. I feel the deep, powerful emotions within me. And I execute on the plan to get me there daily, worshiping God in all I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. That is an example of a guiding compass that I'm living my life by. I'm living this year by. That is pulling me forward. Organizing and building massive communities, nurturing, transforming lives, serving others at a massive freaking level, worshiping God in all I do. Those pull me. Those ways of being, those potential, those possibilities pull me forward, and it's beautiful. So those were two examples. One is I'm nurturing, right? Just like the year, the focus of the year is nurturing everything around me. Two is the Napoleon Hill Chief Aim statement. And so this is what I created a while back that was the inspiration of this talk, the inspiration of this title, this portion, this interview with myself. And so the phrase that I said, the phraseology, the mantra I said is thank you, thank you, thank you. I earn $2,000 a day, $10,000 a week, and $40,000 a month because I take action, delivering my gifts of awakening the power within each person I meet so they can discover and experience the God within, leaving them embraced in more joy, love, and transcendence. Embraced in more joy, love, and transcendence. I live my life through joy, love, and transcendence. Those are like the three values that define my life at this point. You know, those three things. Joy. I'm all about feeling good and being happy. All about it. Having fun. All about it. Love, that is everything, right? Everything is like I show up just a heart space, a love space for everyone around me. And then transcendence is expansion, is evolution, is rising above, is getting closer and closer to consciousness, to universal intelligence, to infinite intelligence, to God consciousness. Transcendence, that's who I am. So that's the reason why I created this talk. Because that's who I am. That's how I live my life. So awakening through joy, love, and transcendence, I have been on this process of awakening. And I awaken the people around me. So doesn't it make sense if I want to awaken the people around me to joy, love, and transcendence, through joy, love, and transcendence, that I focus on these abilities and these parts of myself, these aspects of myself. Melissa says, I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Proud of you. I love you, Chris. Hey, Chris. Yes, love is everything. I love you all. You're superstars. Freaking A. I love my life. I love you. I'm going to give you a big hug. Live events. More live events coming your way so Chris Burns can give out lots and lots of hugs because I love hugs. I love giving hugs. So awesome. So, how do we do this? How do we awaken? What does it mean to awaken? Okay. For me, it's levels of consciousness. we talked about awakening, transcendence. It's similar to transcendence. For me, it's like awakening is getting access to compartments, to aspects, to pieces of ourselves or of things that were not available, that were lying dormant before. Gifts, abilities, consciousness, levels of awareness, right? When you awaken from sleep, from slumber, you were once unaware, or at least at some level less aware because you're sleeping and you're in that state of healing and going inward, tending to your source, nurturing your source. While you're sleeping, you're like nurturing that source energy, nurturing and nourishing and replenishing that to give it the attention that it needs. And when you wake up, when you awaken, you can step into a new reality. You can step into this new human being. You get another day to be who you want to be, to create your reality. So awakening for me, I'm on this path to awaken because when I awaken in others, the things that I want in myself, then I get access to that. That's why I do coaching. I love coaching because when I coach people, I get to see the stuff that I'm dealing with. I attract my coaching clients based on the challenges, the things that I'm ashamed of, that I'm guilty of, that I try to, push to the side, the things that I don't want to deal with. And those people come into my space so that I have to deal with them. Because if I want to give my clients their breakthrough, then I have to deal with it myself. I have to have my own breakthrough in that area because I can't coach someone to achieve something that I haven't accomplished necessarily. I can give them feedback, I can give them advice, but as far as how do I show you to do what I did, and by the way, everyone's journey is different, so you're going to have different guidance, different wisdom for what's going to work for you. There's no one size fits all, but I can show you what I did, and that's the most effective type of coaching. That's the most effective type of how do I achieve a certain result? How do I feel a certain way? How do I be the person that I want to be? Well, model someone who has the results that you want. And honestly, one of my biggest challenges has been being a business coach, an entrepreneur coach, an influencer coach, and I'm still building my own businesses. I'm still building my own following. So what can I really go back to and rely on? Well, I know I've gone from introvert to an extrovert, to someone who shows up and gets my energy. I draw energy, I feed energy when I'm around other people. And I also can do it on my own. I'm very much so an ambivert. I choose how I want to source my energy. If I want to plug into people, if I want to plug into the universe, I can do that. If I want to plug into myself and nourish myself, I can do that. So I've gone from someone who is an introvert, closed off, miserable, disempowered, to someone who can share these mindset hacks, the guidance, the perspective, the ability to be confident in spite of everything around you, the ability to keep moving forward, to be persistent, to get knocked down 500 freaking times and get up 501. I have done that. I have absolutely done that. So that's something that I can really stand behind. Now, how do I do that with other people? Well, I love awakening people through challenging them. Joy, love, and transcendence. I love the transcendence aspect. That's my favorite part to step into because there's a challenge there, right? Love, there's a challenge behind and being love 24/7. It's freaking challenging. It's challenging to be forgiving and graceful and loving and kind and compassionate 24/7. It's also challenging because of our programming and all kinds of stuff like that, to be joyous 24/7, right? How do I have fun? How do I play more games? How do I, really live to create, to be this like kid in a sandbox mentality called the universe? I'm a kid in the sandbox called the universe. Those two, for some reason, I felt like, those are kind of cool, but the transcendence, the growth, has more so pulled me. The growth, the expansion, the getting to where I want to go. I have a very strong history of playing video games, of being goal-oriented, of being objective-oriented, of driving towards something. It's a very type A personality, right? Like you take the front seat and you control, you're going to get that thing that you set out to get, versus type B is more of the systematic, patient, disciplined kind of thing. Type A is hot-headed, goes for it, drives, right? And A could also be alpha, B could be, submissive, more or less. I have noticed for myself, I have taken on a lot of submissive tendencies in my journey. So awakening for me has been awakening to the power that I actually make a difference, awakening to the reality that I make a difference, awakening to the responsibility that I make a difference. Let me share another story or part of my journey with you. So I was playing video games. I love doing that. So much fun. I loved learning. I love building computers. I love putting things together, taking things apart, putting them back together. And so that led to my being an electrical engineer. I loved creating things and building things and being curious about how things work, which also led me into my foray into the internet marketing space and building funnels and building websites and building information products, building courses, like all the research, all the building things, putting things together, engineering structures, engineering systems, engineering things, putting things together, creating was super, super fun for me, right? And I joined a company. I created a company based on that, helped co-found a company called Infopreneur Agency. Now, I co-founded this company, and we created a Facebook community, a group that was all about empowering people to be better infopreneurs, better authors, speakers, and coaches, people who launched courses, etc. One of my biggest challenges in that time period of my life is I was unwilling to fight and have the ferocity of being the universe. I love how Rebecca said, the universe is going to do what it's going to do. Like, try to tell the universe your plans, right? Try to tell the universe that you're going to make something happen. If the universe doesn't want that to happen, it's not going to happen. And whatever we're experiencing right now is because we were meant to. So if you're having relational challenges, you were meant to. If you're having financial challenges, you were meant to. If you're having spiritual challenges, you were meant to. If you're having depression challenges, you were meant to. Why? Find the gift. Find the gift in that. For me, a lot of my life and even jobs, working businesses, infopreneur agency, I kept wanting to put my trust, my faith, my certainty, my responsibility into something else, into someone else, into an external thing, so that I didn't have to deal with it. Like Rebecca said, I think I'm pretty freaking lazy too. Proud of it. I love relaxing. I'm one of the fastest people to relax, to get to sleep. I love sleeping. I believe that one of my biggest challenges of awakening, of transcendence, of being the Chris Burns who fucking changes the world, which I'm doing right now, and at the level that I know I can play at, and the level that people around me see me at, the biggest challenge has been really stepping into that version of myself and what actions I would take, what thoughts I would think, who I would surround myself with, what I would do if I was unhappy with something. Okay, the world-changing Chris Burns who impacts millions of people's lives because of my live events, because of my courses, my content, whatever, is not going to put up with something that doesn't serve him, is not going to put up with something that stops him from achieving his mission. So, for example, one of my challenges is my living situation, right? It's a bit challenging. We won't go into details, but my living situation has been and continues to be challenging at times. And in a lot of ways, I have been very resigned about it. Very, like it'll remedy itself. It'll resolve itself. It'll figure itself out. And I just got to be patient and kind of take it, right? The Chris Burns who impacts millions of people's lives, who does whatever it takes to build the company, who does whatever it takes to get out there, get in front of people, regardless of what people think, regardless of what they say, regardless of how they relate to me, what they call me, the things that they say behind my back, that Chris Burns is not going to put up with a living situation that doesn't serve him, right? He's going to be like, dude, I get that if I'm going to impact 1 million freaking people's lives and millions, I must have a empowering environment. I am relentlessly committed, dedicated, decided, convicted in my environment being somewhere that supports me. So let's talk about how this reflects back to you. What's the mirror? What's the lesson? Okay, so we talked about awakening. We talked about how I didn't want to take responsibility, and I'm seeing all these opportunities throughout my life to take responsibility, to take life by the wheel and say, I want this to be, and I'm going to do whatever the freaking heck it takes, and I'm not going to settle with being comfortable. I'm not going to settle with taking life, allowing it to get the best of me. I'm going to say this is how it's going to go, and then I create that reality. I believe that we are the creators of our reality. I believe that there's a responsibility that we have to create a vision and then follow through with its execution. Along the way, being unattached and letting the universe deliver exactly what it's going to deliver. Executing on that greatest possible self and being unwilling to settle. Being unwilling to compromise. Being unwilling to say, don't worry about it. It's not how I want it to be, but I'll take it. It's the best. It's the best that I can do. It's a defeatist mentality. Like, whatever. Like, it's better than nothing, right? Which is a great place to start, but it's not the most empowering place to get to if we want to impact big things in the world, influence communities and countries in the world, globally influence, right? It's the best. It's the best I can get right now. I believe that there's a level of challenging ourselves to grow even more, to expand beyond that. And for me, I love playing games. I love having fun, and I also love being lazy. I also love being complacent and content and just allowing. I'm really good at allowing. I'm really good at finding peace in the moment. And if the peace that I am sitting in is covering up my dissatisfaction and disenchantment with my life and how it looks, because I'd rather just go to sleep and fall asleep because I don't want to deal with reality. I'd rather not deal with the overwhelm or the story that I'm not good enough, that I'm not achieving enough, that I'm not accomplishing enough, then that peace isn't necessarily pure peace. So for you, for everyone listening, how are you creating your transcendence, your growth, your becoming your greatest possible self, your awakening? What is it that you've been giving away your power to, giving away your responsibility to, giving away the ability to stand in your power as the creator of your reality? What have you been giving that away to? Have you been giving it away to you don't know enough? Oh, I don't know enough, and I'm still learning. Have you been giving away the ability to literally the ability to create $10,000, $100,000 within the next day, the next week, the next month? Have you been giving that away to it makes sense because this is where I'm at? I have to be patient. It's going to take a long time. I have to put in the work first. Because I think that mindset is there's a lack of transcendence. There's a lack of awakening. Because if we were seriously awake and transcending quickly, which we all have the ability to do, whatever we want to have, we can create. If we were seriously woke and awoken, we would say, what would it take to get $100,000 in the next month? What kind of value would I have to create in the world? Well, if I added $1 million of value to someone or people, then I could get $100,000. 10%, it's potential increase. But the problem is, challenges, obstacle, growth opportunity, is that people think at the same level that they arrived in their circumstances at. The same level of thinking that got you to your circumstances will keep you there. And the solutions that you create at that level of thinking is a micro step up and down. That level of thinking is like, how do I just get a little bit more? How do I grow, 1x, 2x? How do I just do a little bit more? 10%, 50%, 100%. 10x is like quantum. 10x is very, very, very big thinking, bigger level thinking. It's what Grant Cardone talks about. I believe that there's an opportunity to give ourselves permission to dream bigger. And honestly, I've been challenged by the people around me to dream bigger. Surround yourself with people who cause you to stretch. Surround yourself with people who cause you to think at a different level, at a bigger level than you've thought at up till this point. So one of the things that I just recently did was start a Facebook group, because the level of thinking that I have executed on up till this point is I'm doing kind of like a solo thing, not really community engaged, right? Like really working on my list, still at the very beginning stages of that, building the 12-hour marathon, putting out content, and is it really the most effective community building tool and value delivery tool to empower people and keep them coming back and build the reputation and brand of Chris Burns? I think it's definitely some huge leaps and steps in the right direction. And what could even be bigger? Would it be a live event? Would it be a live event that has hundreds of people there? Why? Chris Burns, I know all these people. I'm a powerful dude. I can speak very well. Why don't I put on a live event? Why hasn't that level of thinking and that commitment to impacting that many people and creating that much abundance, creating that much value, that much connections, community, networking? Oh my gosh. Why hasn't that level of thinking, why is the seed of that level of thinking not taken? Why hasn't it sprouted yet? Why hasn't it necessarily, it is actually right now, that specific seed of big event, it's definitely sprouting. Be on the lookout. And, what took it so long? For all those years, why didn't I just say, let's do a big freaking event? Because I got stuck on the how. I got tripped up on the level of thinking that brought me to that point. And my transcendence and awakening ability through love, through joy, just wasn't the focus. The focus was survival. The focus was, how do I get by? How do I make a little bit of improvement? Versus having people around me that challenge me to step up my level of thinking, step up my level of contribution and growth and plans. I'm grateful I'm surrounding myself with those kinds of people. Like the 12-hour marathon, we've interviewed over 200 freaking people in the last year, which is amazing. It's incredible. And what really inspires me about that is surrounding myself with people who are amazing, people who are up to big things, people who have big dreams and think at higher levels than most people. And I get to have conversations with these people every week, multiple conversations, not even just on the 12-hour marathon, but also in our pre-calls. I have pre-calls with every single one of the guests to qualify them to come on the show. I get to connect with them there. I get to really share what I'm excited about, my level of consciousness and awakeness, and them too. It's kind of like this opportunity to say, like, what are we excited about, and what is this level of awakening and transcendence that we're currently at? What will we resonate on in this conversation that has us know at what level we're playing at what level we're thinking at? And so it's just this constant reaffirmation that, holy shit, Chris, like I'm playing at a high level. I'm like woke. I'm transcending like a mofo. I'm like global. Like wake up to my potential. Wake up to my gifts. Wake up to my contribution. Wake up to my light, my love, how brilliant I freaking am. And for everyone listening, you're brilliant. Your gifts are amazing. And you deserve to wake up to that potential, to that level of contribution. You deserve to show up as your greatest possible self and think at a bigger level and figure out how later. All you need to know is how committed you are to the process. All you need to know is how much are you willing to do to get to where you want to go. And for everyone, you might say that you're willing to do whatever it takes. I say that I'm willing to do whatever it takes. Yes, and it's a great philosophy. And there's certain things that you wouldn't be willing to do. Certain things outside of your comfort zone. There's certain things, would you dial people for 20 hours straight every day, 4 hours sleep, the bare necessities of food and water to be able to succeed? No, because that's not the priority. Most people know, because that's not the priority. What's the priority? Living an enjoyable life, living an amazing life, having fun. And there's also this aspect of transcendence. There's also this aspect of, hey, let's just break through this freaking barrier of stagnation or of lack of money or of lack of impact or of lack of whatever, and then get to this place of success, and then we can focus on the lifestyle. Life is this journey where you go through these different phases. You might be in a sprint mode or phase one day or 1 week or 1 month or even 1 year. You might be in like a sprint year. And then the next year you take it a little bit easier. You travel, you do things with all the money and resources that you developed, or maybe you were building that earlier year and then you finally get to reap the rewards. So wake up. Wake up to who you really are. Wake up to living life through transcendence, through joy, through love. And what is that higher level of thinking that you could be playing at? We just created this group, Influencer Masterminds, and one of the things I'm freaking committed to is making it a high-level virtual connection, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like port, hub, like, I don't know how warehouse, but like a freaking dome, a connection hub, a freaking global connection hub for people who are committed to big things, finding, discovering the support that they need and the resources to achieve everything that they desire. Like, that's why I created this group, because I would want that. I want to go into a group and find a membership site for whatever, $10 a month, and be able to get any resource, any training that I could possibly want. I want to go into a Facebook group and I pay $100, $200 a week or a month or whatever, and I'm able to join into these masterminds and get around people who can help me grow. Possible partners, joint venture partners. Freaking A, I just put all this work into this course, developing this coaching program, this 4-week, 3-month, whatever program, but I don't know how to market. Who has a list? Bro, join our group, pay the money, show that you're committed, show up, build relationships. It might take a week. Maybe longer, probably longer, 3 months, 6 months, but share with people what you're doing, who you are, your values, what you're creating, and people will want to represent you. One of the things that I've been blocked by is, like, I connect with all these people on the 12-hour marathon, amazing influencers, people with lists, people with courses, people with communities, yet I still didn't feel like I was enough to ask them, can you represent me? Can we set up a joint venture agreement or partnership or alliance, a strategic alliance? Can we do something together? I add value. I'm freaking committed. I love serving people. I love helping people. What do you need from me so that you be willing to share me with your audience? What do you need from me to be able to contribute to make the massive difference that I know I'm capable of making? And so that's really this place that we can come from now on, is that I am enough. I started a Facebook group because I'm like, dude, I add massive freaking value, and everyone around me loves me, and everyone around me wants to grow. Everyone around me deserves to grow and deserves to be in these joint venture partnerships. How can I add value to these people? How can I put to use my social influence, my network? And this is exactly how we're doing it. So I'm super, super, super excited about that. And I'm going to go back and like some comments. Bam. Bam. How's everybody doing? Meeting has ended after 40 minutes of idle time. Sweet. Amazing. Jesse's coming on in 20 minutes, BT dubs. So get excited. So proud of you, Chris. You're awesome. Love you too. Tracy, thank you, thank you, thank you. Blanca, Tyler, Sergio, what is up, people? How are you transcending? How are you making today your best day ever? You know, something I want to ask for help on is getting the podcast out to more people. Like, what the freaking heck does that take? What does it take to get a podcast to like hundreds of downloads each one? If I release one every day, you know, what does that take? And asking for that help. I'm going to start asking for that help. There's a lot here. Content creator. We got podcast hundreds. John Lee Dumas. Does he? I was thinking about that. James, what's up? James Hoff. I think he sent me, I signed up for an email list building. Yes. Send it. Send it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, please. Would love to see that. Love it. Yes. Podcast hundreds of DLs. Ask places. Bam. What's happening? Oh, dude, you know, just making it the best day ever. We've had some fiery freaking interviews today, brother. Fiery. Rebecca's, it is bomb.com. Hers was amazing. Ask and it is given. Yes! I knew it. I love it. We'll hold each other accountable. Petya, I think you're starting your podcast, right? Okay, so let's see. Anything else that we want to cover in this hour? So going back over what we covered: joy, love, transcendence, awakening through joy, love, and transcendence. Have fun. Like, one of the biggest lessons that I've been learning is having more fun. Like Chris Burns, I was raised and nurtured and fueled by fun, playing video games. Like 24/7. Fun is an integral part of my experience. Stop pushing me daily. You mean thank you for pushing me daily. Keep pushing me daily. And I'd say it's more of a pushing, pulling, sourcing, teaching you how to self-source yourself, planting ideas and having you push yourself. It's definitely you. I'm giving you all the credit, all the credit, Petya. So it's like the fun, the critical ingredient of fun. For a long time, I resented that period of time in my life playing video games and you know, fun to go out and party, and I was going to raves and concerts, and that got me into trouble. So I resented that, the periods of time in my life where I felt like I was self-expressed. I felt like I was winning. I felt like I felt good, right? At least as much as I thought. I thought that feeling good, aren't I supposed to want to feel good? Aren't I supposed to want to win? Like my source, my soul was like, bro, you feel good. Yes, that is important. But what's in the roots? What's in the roots of the feeling good? If in the roots of the feeling good is, you know, illegal activities or whatever it might be, right? If the roots are, you know, like winning at the cost of others, if the roots are neglecting your responsibilities to your family or to society or your greatest possible self, if there's, you know, shame and guilt in your roots, then it's not going to produce good fruit. The fun that I was having was not producing good fruit because the consequences, it was like, you know, eating from the Garden of Eden, so to speak. Like, I was eating these fruits, and these fruits were freaking delicious. But after I ate them, it like it gave me the worst stomach ache. It tore up my inside. Who knows? Like these fruits that I was eating potentially could have been, like dissolving holes in my intestines because they're that bad for me, or the fruits caused me to, pass out for a week at a time, or whatever it is, right? Like, this is just examples of when you eat a fruit, when you reap your harvest, what was in the seeds? What was the soil? What was in the soil? What were the nutrients that were feeding the cultivation, the growth? Because if the nutrients were joy, love, positivity, embrace, gratitude, peace, then you're going to have some darn good fruits. If the nutrients are being really excited and fired up, risking, rebelling, shame, guilt, anger, repression, then you're not going to have such great fruits, such great harvest, unfortunately. And it's fortunate because that's the freaking laws of the universe. Thank you, universe, for continuing to operate in the perfect freaking way that you've always operated. And all I got to do is get in alignment, get into flow with your laws. Cool. Shoot. So I see the laws and the impact of not using them effectively, wisely, with discernment, with awareness of what the heck I was doing, right? Planting all these seeds and having fun at the cost of my, whatever, cost of my health, cost of my well-being, cost of my mentality, having a healthy mindset, cost of doing things within the scope of the law, right? If the repercussions, the seeds that I sow, like, thank you, universe, for having a law that says the seeds that I sow, I'm going to get back, right? Tenfold. The seeds that I sow, I'm going to get back tenfold. So I better plant some damn good seeds. I better plant them. I better choose wisely about the seeds that I'm planting. I better choose wisely the thoughts that I'm planting into my mind, into my subconscious, because they will reap 10 times over. Thoughts of shame, guilt, lack, scarcity, survival, I'm going to reap those 10 times over. Thoughts of joy, abundance, transcendence, being my greatest possible self, contribution, I'm going to reap those 10 times over. Blessed. Grr. Call it what you want. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Cool. So we're going to finish this up. Thank you so much for joining. And if you are committed to experiencing more joy, love, and transcendence, highly recommend, one, the Influencers Mastermind group, Influencer Masterminds. I always S on either one. It's all perfect. Influencers Mastermind or the Influencer Masterminds. It is Influencer Masterminds, by the way. Facebook.com/groups/Influencer Masterminds. And join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's all about being your greatest possible self. It's all about being a better influencer, delivering better quality content, better persuasion, better ability to help people step into their greatest possible self and make the impact that you desire in the world and get rewarded for it so you can live and freaking transcend and be joyous and be loving. It's a lot of fun to do that. Also, if you want one-on-one attention, I would love to give that to you. Send me a message, facebook.com/TH3Burns. We'll have a lot of joy, love, and transcendence. Again, that's facebook.com/TH3Burns. Or you can book a strategy session, a 30-minute strategy session to get some clarity, get power, and get an action plan in place so you can take bigger, better action and be a better influencer. And I'd love to share about the coaching programs that I have with you and help you be your greatest possible self. And that's beyourgps.com/strategy session. Again, beyourgps.com/strategy session. And it is a lot of fun to do those sessions, and they're great and a blast, and you will get so much out of it. So I highly recommend them, and the people around me do as well. Just ask for testimonials. Would love to send some of those over to you. And let's wrap up this hour. Thank you so much for joining.